Hi there. Hey, little sunshines. It's me, little sunshine. Um, I kind of wanted to make a video today about kind of politics and spirituality. I know the two subjects don't really go together that well. But on on Facebook, it was kind of like a big day yesterday with like Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and Hillary already kind of having this win announced before it was even before she got all the delegate votes and everything like that. Um, but anyway, I'll just start with kind of why I wanted to talk about politics and spirituality, because I think it's kind of politics. Today's politics, I feel, is kind of a system that's crumbling away. It's part of an old paradigm, a system that no longer works. People are tired of corruption. People are tired um, of politicians, and I mean, even since I was a kid, it seems like that's kind of what people have always said, is that politics, it's just greed and corruption, and that's how it is, and it's how it always has been. And I'll start off with saying that I am a Bernie Sanders supporter. Hi, buddy. I have a little kitty. He'll probably make an appearance in videos. No time like the present. This is my Chichen Itza. Uh, He's my soul companion. You can sit there if you want. I don't mind if you take my chair. But yeah, I am a Bernie Sanders supporter. And, I kind of wanted to talk about, kind of what I saw. I'll have a co-host today. This is a good setup, I think. Have both of us here. Camera's that way, though, buddy. But anyway, just kind of what I thought about, seeing in the different people of Bernie Sanders, because I do feel we, as people, project what we, are inside to our politicians, and, what's okay and what we want to see in the world. And I'll just start off like with Bernie Sanders. I see a lot of my kind of hippie friends, my spiritual inclined people, my critical thinking friends, they all kind of had this sense about them. The ones that are tired of corrupt politics. Bernie was kind of like is a person fighting for the people, and it's kind of funny as he is, being claimed that he's lost now. He doesn't have enough delegate votes. All these super delegate numbers, which is a whole nother story. It's just, I just saw it explained that super delegates, are these political elite kind of that get to get more power. This pen is so fascinating. I know, like, that's the thing, is I'd rather have more entertainment by a pen than political stuff or anything, right? But yeah, so like there's all these categories of, we feel like we live in a democracy, and then there's things like the super delegates that really make no sense. It shouldn't be. There's these political elite that just get to. I just saw it described by like an NBC political newscaster, that if they see, that the people are kind of going in the wrong direction, they're there so that they can kind of guide us back, which in this case would be toward Hillary. Like, it's already just proclaimed that, she's going to be the Democratic nomination when, I mean, there's all these things behind her, these FBI investigations. That she's just in it with the big banks and the corporations, and she is one. She's a billionaire, and I don't want to get into too much of what Hillary, is, but I want to focus on, again, like, the Bernie Sanders people. I'll just finish up with, I think it's people, because this is me, that want change, that really were seeking change and looking for change and tired of the elite 1% and kind of know what's going on, like the behind the scenes of politics and things like that. And since I was talking about Hillary, we'll segue into her, but I think with Hillary, she is for corporations. She's for the big bank. She's a career politician, as it's been worded. She's a female, which is great, that you think that she would be for women's rights and minorities and things like that. But I mean, you look at her record and it's not... Hillary is somebody that's kind of changed from group to group to group. She can change to kind of fit what's needed for the day. And so kind of what I see, because I have friends that are Hillary supporters and gay friends, and they, I feel, are still kind of plugged into the Matrix sort of thing. They're very into their corporate-owned world. They either work in it or they're very happy in their Starbucks land and are happy with the system that's in place, even though she's all about change and progression, and it's not. It's about keeping it the same, keeping the system the same, keeping it right where it is with the political elite, with the 1%, with she's not against any of that. And for the people that are Hillary supporters that think she is for a big change in all of that, you're kidding yourself when she was in the White House, as a Secretary of State, and it's not going to change. Like, if you think that she is going to bring change, I don't see it. But again, from the spiritual perspective of it all, or kind of psychology behind it, is like, so what does somebody like that portray in ourselves? I feel like it's it's kind of portraying somebody that lies to ourselves, that we haven't dealt with all the shadows in our closet. I actually used to be a Hillary supporter back when, she was running against Obama, and that was before, I had kind of awoken. So, I mean, it can show you that, people progress and change. But when you look behind a record and actually do your fact checking, you're like, oh, she's not really for the people. She's a billionaire, so. But again, just getting back to the spirituality part of it, it's I think it's portraying people who are kind of ashamed, have a shame factor in them, and again, I'm not saying this is for everybody who supports Hillary or anything like that, but I can see it as a collective. Like, that's, as a collective, what a Hillary supporter would be. Or again, you're not informed to her ways, and you just, you see the very just top layer surface of it all. And yeah, I didn't really get into the spirituality part with Bernie, but I'd say it is for the people that are a little more awake, have done a little more soul searching, shadow work, really want to see change, want to ascend to their next level, are kind of the aspects that I see in spirituality for him. So we'll just finish it off with Trump, the Republican nomination that, or actually not finish it off because I have another category. Dun dun dun. But with Trump, there's no mistaking. I mean, he's just kind of a self-proclaimed, a racist, a bigot, a man filled with hate and anger. And even people that were, you're just going to town cleaning yourself there. I wish I could get you in the video a little bit more. Don't let this freak you out. That's as high as it goes. But, when you think about it, a lot of people still have fear inside of them, still have anger issues to deal with, things from the past. They might be religious, but again, religion is going to be a fear-based kind of mentality that spawns out of, so maybe not as open-minded as a Bernie supporter. They have, they haven't been enlightened to the spiritual aspects of the world, the oneness of the world, the we are all one, because a person that comes from a place of love wouldn't say or do the things that he represents. The ego is very large. You can see the ego inside Trump is very large. So I'm going to say that a supporter of Trump has some sort of ego issues, whether it's been deflated over time. And again, I'm not judging any of the people from a Bernie to a Hillary to a Trump to the last category. I'm not judging any of them. These are kind of my overall characteristics that I see, and they're not bad things, because again, at one time I have been a Hillary supporter, or other things. So just to finish with Trump, it's just it's people in his campaign didn't even think that he would go as far as he could, and I think that he's almost put into that place to be ridiculous. Now you have this big, ridiculous clown running, and now you just have Hillary, and then it's like, pick now. And it's either way, it's the same. So, and I talk to my, political Democratic friends about it. It's not the same. Trump would be the worst thing that the country could ever have, and da-da-da-da-da. And they don't see that through my perspective, Hillary is the way that they view Trump. I know that Trump is a joke at the end of the day, but they're so behind their Hillary and kind of blinded by it that I consider her the joke that they consider Trump to be the joke, where it's like, you haven't opened your eyes to it yet, but there's that. And lastly, I'll finish off with the category of the non-voting person, which is, I think I just saw the numbers in California, where I think 40% or more people didn't even turn out, which is millions of people. I think it was like 6 million or more. It's 40%, almost half of California population didn't even come out to vote, which would show you the lack of enthusiasm for our political system. I kind of wrote down here too, just that they're the docile, not caring. Like they've kind of just lost hope. Maybe they don't, and it's funny because I'll even bring in my mother for this, that she has always been a woman who has voted every year, and this is the first year that she didn't even go vote because she didn't think that any of the candidates that we could even choose from, even with Bernie and Hillary, and this was back when Michigan voted, Trump, and I forget who the other two, I think it was 2 or 3 Republicans were still in it at that point, Marco Rubio and Cruz, if not more. But she's been a Republican most of her life, so when it comes down to having to pick somebody, and there just wasn't anybody to pick in her eyes, and I think that just says something about like our again spiritual lackness in the community, that there's just this docile lack of caring for better words is just there, and it goes to their core, it goes to their spiritual core, and they're just not happy. They're not happy with their overall life, and don't feel like they have any power to change it, to change their life. And there's also, on the other, the people that don't vote that just don't believe in the system anymore, that are on the other side of the spectrum of not caring and don't believe in it. They're just so done with the system that they're not voting. So there is, this other category too of people that really don't believe in it, because after you see that Hillary pretty much was just a shoo-in from the beginning, that it was selected and it's not nominated at this point, that you start feeling like, oh, the system doesn't have my back. But at the end of the day, I just want to say that it is, again, it's an old system that it's crumbling. It's not going to be in our future much longer. It's an old way of thinking, especially with today's technology. Somebody like Bernie Sanders never would have even gotten this far along 10, 20 years ago. So it's good to see that as time is progressing forward, that somebody like him can even stand out. And I read something earlier that I just loved, that it wasn't just about him, it was about this movement of people, really, that hopefully it has opened some eyes, and it continues to do so, just with the whole political agenda. And I can't say what's next for it. There's a lot of different paths I can see it going still, and which timeline we're on. And I'm just, again, not judging anybody overall, and I'm not criticizing anybody, because I've been at every one of those levels of Trump, Bernie, Hillary, not caring. Like, I've been there, and I know, and I'm not better than any of these positions. They're just where people are currently, and you can never beat yourself up over where you are. And it's good to see that the earth is awakening more and more, and things like this can fall away. So so I'll leave it with that. I greatly appreciate any comments. If you liked it, go ahead and click like. If you want to see more of Chech, tell me. How could you not want to see more of Chech? But yeah, that's kind of just my rundown of spiritual politics. I know it's kind of just over the place, but I'm still getting used to making videos even, and I love it. I had it on my mind, and I wanted to get it out there. And thank you all. I know together. I think also what it comes down to is, I'll just finish with this, is we all are one. We all want good for each other. Nobody wants anybody getting raped. Nobody wants anybody getting killed. Nobody wants people starving. Nobody wants, all these horrible things that are happening to humanity and, to ourselves. And it starts with ourselves. So we have to, just keep growing as a community. Do what you can in your community. Do your self-work. Do your self-love. Find that inner self. And the light is still shining. The light shines on at the end of the day. It's not a bleak defeat. Just a reminder of that this political system is here and it's dying in front of our eyes. So, thank you all. I hope you have a great day. Chech says bye. I say bye. And we love you. We'll love you forever.